So, I hope now the audio issue is fixed and you can hear me. Um, yeah, so I hope you can hear me. I'm Nino, and today will be my first virtual reality live session. I will be painting in Quill. It's a program where you can paint like in 3D space in virtual reality. But first of all, I want to introduce you to the program, show you where you can get it if you want to try it as well. And yeah, and after that, I will just jump in and do some like little tests. I will try to paint a rocket in 3D as a test for our upcoming project. It's called George's Journey, a VR experience. It will be like a short movie, and you can watch it totally in virtual reality over Quill or Oculus Theater. It will be a project that we will be doing in the next couple of months, actually 3 months. From now on, it should be finished, and I hope that we can show you a little bit of the process. And yeah, you can just join, ask questions regarding to virtual reality productions. I think it will be exciting. It's our first time as well doing such a big project in VR, and it will be fun to see how it all develops. So I want to jump in and just show you right now what it looks like, the website. Let me check. And here we are. That's the Quill website. That is the program you can download. It is available for all Oculus devices that are Rift and Quest. So the original Quest and Quest 2 and Rift S as well. But when you're using the Quest or Quest 2, like I am, you will have to install or have like an Oculus Link cable and a powerful PC, so that you can run it off your PC. Yeah, and this is the program. It's actually free, so that's really great for what kind of program it is, because you can actually do so much in it, like painting in VR, but also animating. And you could also do just some pre-visualization for your normal, like general project, like when you're doing a movie and you do a storyboard in Quill, that would be possible as well. And you could also export all of the things that you do in Quill into Blender, for example, and use it in another way. Yeah, so this is the program that we'll be using today. And here you can see like the website itself. If you want to start off with some basic tutorials, there you have it. But you can also join, for example, the virtual animation community on Facebook and Discord. Later I will add a link down in the description where you can find the links to the Discord server and the Facebook group. There are a lot of amazing people with great knowledge and great creativity. And there are also a lot of tutorials already online on YouTube, for example, from Goro Fujita. And yeah, these tutorials will totally help you out if you're just starting. But maybe I can do that as well a little bit right now if I'm just jumping in the program, and I will show you what I'm gonna do, a little bit of trial and error, I guess, today. We're just gonna look how this all works. It's the first stream, so there might be technical issues. Yeah, but we'll fix them if they come up. It'll be amazing. All right, I think I'll try to jump into VR. It's a little bit... I hope it all works. Have to put on like a totally another setup right now. So, yeah. So I actually have like, this is my Quest 2, and it's connected with this cable, with a link cable. It's going on top of my, not roof, it's the ceiling. It's called ceiling. Yeah, up on the ceiling the cable is run, so it don't like get strangled in it. Just have to put it up. Get rid of my cap. Damn, Niels! Thank you. That's like this donation will totally be like another one of these ones. I hope you can see it. Great investment. So, all right. So, I hope everything is set up right now. All right. Just gonna strap the cable around here with some Velcro so it sticks. Usually I do this beforehand, but I always forget it. All right, grabbing the controllers. And now I actually should be in. Yeah. All right, just checking that I can see the stream and the chat as well. The mic is there. I hope you can still hear me good. And the next challenge, trying to face the camera when being in VR. That's gonna be something I have to keep an eye on this whole time. So, just put it up here. All right. So, I think I'm ready, and so I'm gonna jump into Quill. Let's go. And here we are. All right. I just have to look. Okay. Have to stick the chat. I just couldn't see it. Move my windows. You can't see that right now, so I have to manage like all the stuff in VR so I can read the chat. And now I should be ready. I at least guess. All right, just one more window had to be sticked. And here we are. All right, now I am in Quill. And you can see right here, normally when you start, you see like this tutorials with the button mappings and stuff like this. It's quite helpful just to read it in the beginning. But there are also some good tutorials, like I mentioned, you will find something online. And maybe I'll do some in the future as well. So I want to do a rocket today. A rocket. It's going to be like a little metal rocket. Where somebody actually sits inside it. Before I'm just gonna talk, I will just draw like a rough sketch. Alright, so use a brush, hide the information right here. So, the first thing I would like to do normally is just to do a rough sketch of the whole thing I want to paint. So I'll start. Great thing about Quill, so you see I just draw freehand, so did a circle like this in 3D space. That's what it's all about, the program. But I can also now just grab the things that I just drew, and just copy them and move them. And that's a way where you can move like, or work like quite efficient in Quill with this technique, and you'll be quite fast this way. So, yeah, I'm just gonna draw like a rough idea of what it should look like in the end. So I'm just gonna have like a little, let's call it barrel down here. Then of course there's gonna be like a more like cylinder shape, not cylinder, but the cone shape on the front. And on the back, I think I'm just gonna copy this right here. And then there will be like an exhaust hole with a whole, let's call it engine with a rocket itself, and maybe just do like a 3-part rocket like this. Yeah, So this will be the raw shape, and in here, like the person actually will be not sitting directly inside or totally inside. I want to have like a rectangular cutout, and the character should be actually sitting right here. So just the upper body will come out right here with the head, and it's gonna have like maybe a handle right here where you can brake. But you might ask how to or why brake, because it's not gonna be like a normal rocket. It is more like a mix of a rocket and I think a gondola. So actually it's gonna have like this supports right here, and it's going to be hanging on like a rope like this. So this is the whole idea. So it's not like a typical rocket, but it's the whole thing is going to go upwards. And so it's gonna be like just gonna draw it like here. So we're gonna have like let's say an island or a floating planet right here, and another one up there, and they're just connected by this line, and the rocket will just fly up on the line to another planet. That's the whole thing that it's supposed to do in the end, and that's why it will have like these supports and the railings up there. Yeah. So let's just hope that this will work out. I think now looking at it, I think these parts right here, so like you can see this part, the panels maybe, I'm just gonna do like some individual rectangles and just rotate them around. I think that would be possible. But more challenging, I think, will be like this this shape, like the cone. I'm still thinking about how much detail I want to get into it, because it's gonna be a little short film, so we have to do like actually some more scenes. And the thing with Quill is that you have like this panel, the performance panel, because you want to have it ready for mobile VR. So that is when I use, for example, this headset standalone, so without the computer, that this can actually handle it, like the processor in this headset itself. And this is quite important because there's like the Quest 2 is like one of the most sold headset right now, and you want to have like as many people as possible being able to just watch your content, of course. And so you want to stick like to the performance panel and don't exceed anything. And you're limited by triangles and memory and draw calls. That are the main things, the main issues. And triangles, I can maybe show you when I go to another color. Let's make it like a gray. And when I put it right here, there you can see them, I hope so. So these are the triangles Quill is talking about, like these triangles right here. And because we want to have them low, it's a little bit different, because we want to have like a narrative that is gonna be like 3 to 4 to 5 minutes maybe long. It's a little bit different than from just drawing like one scene, because if you only have one scene, it's a little bit easier, because the memory will not get that full if you have like strokes like this with that much density of triangles. But if you want to do like that quality or that detail of the strokes across 5 minutes with different scenes and stuff like this, it's going to be hard to stick through that memory and triangles limit. So that's why you want to build for a longer experience like quite efficient. And what I mean by that is that shapes like this, for example, I take like 2 different things, and it's gonna take like a straight line. There you can see the straight line has now much more triangles than this. So this seems to be worse, but actually when you then just go in, you can optimize. And when you fully optimize it, the actual shape of this stroke, like the straight line, won't like change. It's not that much that'll change, just the edges right here. That's a big difference, but you could also just go in and just optimize the parts that aren't rounded, and so save many triangles. But on the other hand, when you go in and you would optimize this one, like a rounded object, you can see that's not gonna work. So, it is quite good if you already plan for optimization in your head, so that later on you won't get any trouble when you, or you spend that much time onto details like this, perfectly rounded, drawn with a freehand tool, and then you have to optimize it and it doesn't look like you're used to it. And so this is something to keep in mind, that it might be better, you might be better off just choosing not necessarily like a very simple art style, but one where you can take use of these shapes and just with optimization in mind. I will show you a little bit what I mean about that later. So, just start. I want to start off by doing just one of these panels. I think that would be a good starting point. So I'm using the straight line tool because it is like the best option if you want to work in symmetry and move things later on. I'm just going to start off by thinking about the thickness I want to have. I think this will be about alright, and let's do it like 2 and a little bit over 2 squares. Maybe I'll just actually I'm just going to size it up a little bit so that it covers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So 5 of these squares are now my measurement, and now I'm going to rename this. It's just my sketch, and make a new paint layer. With these paint layers, it's like in Photoshop or any other program, you can actually just hide them individually, move them independent. So it's just like in most graphic programs, you have these layers, and also you can create folders and just manage your stuff right there. It is important to name your stuff. I usually forget to do it and regret it afterwards. So do you have it in mind already? Let's just rename it. I'm just gonna call it side panel. So, and now I have this side panel element. And like I said, now I'm just gonna adjust the size a little bit of my stroke. And I'm just gonna do like an 5 square long stroke. All right. So I have this stroke right here, and now I want to add some detail, additional parts. So I'm actually going to use the cube brush for that, just to make like a point where it's been welded together, the whole thing. So just make it quite. I make it a little bit exaggerated, so more than you would expect, just to have it pop right here. And this is what it looks like in flat look. And then I'm just going to go in and add just a little bit of detail or variation across the whole surface with different shades of gray right here. And for that, I'm using a trick also learned on the virtual reality animation Discord server, where you actually use like these, how is it called, the brush? The ribbon brush. So it's like an actually flat brush. So you only have, it's just like a plane, you could say. And that is nice to use if you want to add some details, because it is so easily optimizable. So just to understand, again, this can be optimized later on. Into like very little strokes, or not strokes, but triangles. So that's what we're going to be using right now. Let's check. All right. Starting off, I want to add just a little bit of shadow. So I'm just gonna grab this. Get a little bit brighter than this one in this case. And just doing like a contact shadow right here, I could say. It's gonna be a little bit hard with this, but... So the thing with Quill is that it doesn't use like any light. So there is no, like for example in Unity or game engines, there is no like simulated light in Quill. I think sometimes I would wish that there was, but actually I think it's a quite nice thing, because it's like because of this, it has like these just the paintery, like how to say it, aesthetic, but also like workflow. So you really have to think about every detail you add, and that's quite nice. And you just learn a lot about colors and stuff like this in the process. I really enjoy it. But sometimes it would be nice to be able to add lighting afterwards. But you can actually do that if you, for example, export it to Blender and then add light in Blender afterwards. So there's a possibility as well. So, but for now on, I just want to have my little contact shadow. I'm just going like very close and just look that it is just barely above like the level. And now we can see if we switch, it's just like the first level of detail we're adding right now. So just gonna add it right here, a little bit more in, and I'm gonna copy it. No, I'm gonna do it later, because later on when we're going to copy it like on like so, and of course there shouldn't be that much shadow on this side. If you just think about for example light coming from this direction, then there shouldn't be like that much shadow, but still it's just like simulating ambient occlusion. So like when two objects are just close to each other, there is a little bit more of darkness. So maybe I'm gonna add that later when we see how it will work out when we actually copy everything. So I'm just gonna add some variation of color for this. Just a little bit darker tones. All right. So, and now the cool thing of Quill, like I said, is just how easy it is to duplicate stuff. So I'm just holding the trigger and then grabbing with the other hand. And this way I can just copy objects. And also then when I move, I can rescale them. So I'm just now able to move them across the axis, scale them a little bit, reposition. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do right now, like real quick. I hope this will work out. We'll just see in a minute when I turn off all these, like the grid overlay I have here. I can see like there's like some little squares always around the objects. I have that on, so I can more easily understand like the perspective and how far away objects are from me. Because normally when you look at this in this like this flat shading, just like this, sometimes it is hard to understand how close or far away these objects are when painting, especially when it comes to like stuff that has to be this close to each other. It's like not that good or not that easy to eyeball it without these lines. So that's why they're on. Yeah, and I have like this right here now. I just don't want it to be like all the same color, so that it's not just a block of color when you're looking at it from afar. So now it's maybe looks more like a metal with some spots on it, maybe some wear and tear. I could actually just go in and just select, for example, a couple of these strokes, and then just go in and use a different color, maybe lighter this time, and then just paint over them. And this way I can easily like already add another color value. And I think that will work quite well. Alright, I think it will be enough for like the one side of it, because there will be another a little bit more detail with a handle and stuff like this. So I want to keep it light, but also if you compare, let's say like the difference, if you would look at it, I'm just gonna undo it. So if we would delete it, it's just like this. It's just the flat one, but oh, perfect. All right, there it is. All right, thought I deleted everything and couldn't come back, but yeah, it's still there. So just like it, you're just gonna add a little bit more detail, or yeah, to a totally flat surface. I think that is important, so it just doesn't look that boring. Yeah, so with that being done, I think the most challenging part actually will be to have it like fit the character, because I don't want these big panels, but I actually I mean, I just want panels there to be about with this width, but on the top I just can't have like one of these because the character won't fit into that. The hole has to be a little bit bigger, so maybe the top part actually has to be like double the size. So it's like this, so we can cut out a hole for yeah, for our character, for George. He's called George, that's why it's called George's Journey. Alright, but we'll see how that will go if we try it. So first of all, I'm just gonna try like the simple technique, I would call it, that I want to use. Just gonna quickly check something in stream. Gonna take a moment. Alright. Where's my window? And the right here. Alright. Looking good. Okay. So, I want to start now by duplicating this and forming like the shape of a cylinder in the like at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is like select all these layers, and then you can see this gimbal right here, a way you could turn it. And And what I actually want to do is like think about how big the radius should be, because I can actually like grab this pivot, and I think this might be alright. I'm just gonna try it, and now just like before, I'm just gonna hold down the trigger and just move it slightly and rotate it. And if done once, you could just repeat the action, and you can see it now fills the rest. All right. Looking quite good. Okay. Now let's think about it. It's not, in my case, I would say it's not that bad that it is like not connecting right here. I would have to reconsider like having the radius a little bit smaller to have it all connected. But in my case, I already said, we want the top part to actually be a little bit wider. So just thinking about like a way to go about this. So I'm just going to undo, and maybe actually redo it, but with a different radius this time. It's gonna do it like this. Let's see what it turns out. All right. So now the hole is actually, or the gap is actually bigger, but that's actually what I wanted to achieve. But before I go on, I'll just do like a copy of this and save it right here, so that I don't lose progress. And maybe actually I'm just going to grab the whole thing, and I can actually say that I want to move the whole selection to a new layer, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just gonna call it backup panel, create a new folder like archive, and put it right here, and then just hide it so I can't grab it accidentally. So back to the side panel, so or the rocket. Now it's not just one side panel anymore. It's actually like at least starting to look a little bit like the rocket I imagined. So all right. Now the problem is I'm gonna have to eyeball it just a little bit. I will select like all of these elements. I'm just gonna do it like this, select all, and then if I just hold the trigger, it's like holding Alt, for example, on a computer, on a keyboard. I can usually do something different, and now so the opposite, so I can deselect actually. Just going to select this one as well. And now I'm just gonna try to rotate it so that this is the top surface actually, or the space for the top surface. But it's always kind of hard to eyeball this stuff. I hope it is alright, but it doesn't have to be like mathematically like 100% correct, I would say. So let's just stick to that. No, I made it worse. Oh my god. All right. We can fix it after we added some more on top. Maybe we'll see it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to delete this upper part and go in and make a new line right here with a proper width. All right, this looks quite good. So, and now as you can see, I just made the upper part a little bit thicker. Just gonna move my, I call it welding point, but no, it's not a welding point. All right, it's a little bit thick for welding point. Let's just assume they're just another metal part, and it's welded to that, I would say, because I think someone that's welds this big would lose their job. But I'm just gonna grab the detail right now, and I already see I did a mistake. I don't know if I want to, because actually I forgot that there will be like a hole. There must be a hole where the driver or the, how do you call it? Like it's not an astronaut in this case, but what are the eyes meant to say? Snared. What are the eyes meant to say? So yeah, I want to have like a hole right there. So actually we'll have to cut it a little bit. So I have to delete it and put another one right here and just say, right here, there will be the hole. And it's gonna be that thick. All right. That should be enough. Or is it? Give the guy maybe a little bit of more. A little bit more breathing room. So, is it more than before? Damn, it doesn't feel like it, at least. So let's try this again. All right. So now that this is done, I'm just gonna have to move it down just a little bit. Maybe a bit to the side. Just have to increase it a bit so it doesn't. Has to intersect at least a little bit, and that made the hole a little bit smaller. That should be enough. I guess it should be enough. All right, let's continue with checking on this side. I'm just gonna fix it a little bit by moving this right here, and maybe grabbing these two, so these two, and moving them down just a bit. Whoa! Another one! Thanks, Niels. Love. Hey. Alright. I love the design process. I hope I read that correctly. Maybe I have to change my setup a little bit so I can read my donations properly. If not, if I didn't understand it correctly, just put it in the chat. I'll see that up here too. But thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's most like the most interesting thing for me in Quill is to actually have this process of like, how can I create it in Quill without losing too much performance? I love that idea, or love this way of working, because I always have to come up with ideas and solutions for problems, and also just like for me personally, I mean everyone is different, but for me personally, I get so like sucked into this whole experience. So it's so like, for me it's the most immersive art form for me as a creator, I would say, because you're just totally stuck into this world. Because when you're doing this, there's nothing around you except like you say, it's just an infinite canvas, you can say. It's all around you. You don't have any distractions. Besides when you're streaming and you have a chat right here, but that's all right. But yeah, you can just get totally lost in it and just focus on what you're creating. And wait, camera is here. I have to point like this. And the most important thing, if you're gonna start using Quill, there is no autosave. There is no autosave. I just remembered that. So don't forget to go in and choose a folder. In my case, it's right here. Just call it Rocket version 1. Hit save. And you're safe in case the program crashes. It usually, for me, it runs quite stable. But that doesn't matter if it runs like stable most of the time, but you just forget to save after a 3-hour session, and then it crashes because the battery of your headset runs out. Yeah, that's right there. Entering the zone, getting into the flow. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, actually, I read a book about flow. If I only could, I can just pronounce the like one part of the name. It's Mike, but the surname I can't pronounce because it's too hard for me. I won't even try. But there's a book on flow actually, and it's quite interesting. If you read about it, it's like a concept, a mental concept you can have, or you can get into, like when you're doing an activity, and it will, if you read about it, you will see like this type of flow. You will just see it in every experience or in so many different fields of your life, where you can see like where flow could be involved. Just for an explanation, like flow is like I said, a state of mind you can be in when doing an activity, and when you're entering this kind of flow, it is considered to be an optimal experience. So it's not only for like, it's not like becoming a happy person through flow. There are some people trying to do that as well, but it's also very interesting for people like doing VR experiences, movies, and even games, to read into that and just have a look, because it's quite interesting. Maybe I can do something about it in the future as well, if you would like to. And Snared learned that the hard way, that saving is quite, saving often is quite necessary in Quill. But I have to say, me too. So, you're not alone with that. But most of the time, in the last few weeks at least, I didn't run into that issue. I'm just gonna now grab this and put it right here. My headphone cable, it's just getting in my way. All right. So, enough talk. Let's get back to work. All right, so I moved this right here, and I'm just gonna, I don't want it to be like the hole to be where it sits. It doesn't have to be like this wide, so it's not gonna be the full length or the full width of it. So I'm just gonna do another stroke right here and duplicate it again, and just like this. So I just made the hole a little bit smaller. And now I'm just gonna go in with the same color right here and just get out like a frame that would normally you would, I think, at least, I'm not an engineer, or I'm not like talented when it comes to stuff like this in the real world, but I'm assuming you will have to have a frame around the thing, so it doesn't break. I'm just going to do that. And hey! And we're getting at least somewhere, you could say. Actually, let's just I just want to make it a little bit bigger, I guess. Yeah. So just jump in right here. I want to have it maybe like, I'm just gonna repaint it right here. I'll have it a little bit more prominent, I would say. A little bit thicker. All right. Always have to check in this mode. Yeah, I like this. I think I like this more. So when it's a little bit sticking out of it, but maybe just lower it just a bit. That's a nice thing that you can just grab it afterwards. And like I did right here with this shadow, I would also do that right now around this object. But first of all, like I mentioned before, even though here is more like the one side should be more shadowy, I just still copy it to the other one, just make it maybe a little bit smaller, just like this. Just have like at the contact point, it's just going to be like a little bit darker. And that's what I'm gonna do right here as well. So at each contact point, I just go in and draw the shadow. So it's like I said, it's like simulating ambient occlusion like you'd use in, for example, Blender and 3D, other 3D software. Also, let's just say, I mean, it's kind of a contact shadow, like I mentioned. So. But I won't mess around with the color that much. So maybe I'll change it in later on a little bit when it comes to color. Maybe darken the one part or the other. But that is something I'll do afterwards. At least for the parts. That are just repeated once. So it's quite easy to change it if I just grab each individual one and just recolor it. And maybe, for example, like here, I have this one stroke going up, and it should be a little bit darker right here. So I'm just gonna use the brush tool or the colorize tool and just darken it a little bit around here. So it doesn't totally stand out, but it's still got the little bit of texture. Yeah. And maybe what I would like to do afterwards, but I'm just gonna show it, what would be possible as well is to add strokes to emphasize like shadow. I don't know if this is the most efficient way to do it, because I already created like this this whole square. I could also have done it like this way, like with creating lines and then in a way just didn't copy it, like doing it like this. You could also do like more 3D shape with line tool. I don't know, I think this would be more efficient, but it's, I would say, a little bit more work. And with this amount of elements, I guess it's alright to do it this way. But what I can do is I can just go in and just do this element in the middle, or at the part that is going to be inside, that is going to be darker. Like I make it right here. Just redo this side. Put it a little bit in. Of course, I'm just gonna... The other ones I'm just gonna copy. Ah, come on. Nice. Alright. No. So, hey. I was just meant to select this one. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to grab only one thing when they're so close to each other, but you can deselect the bigger object. That's normally the thing that works quite well. But now, if you just look at it, even though, I'm just gonna get rid of the grid, even though you don't have light, with these techniques, so with just drawing in some, just some simple shades of the same color, you can see that you'll get the illusion of light quite well. So basically what you're doing in every painting as well, when you want to draw light, in this case, when the sun comes from there, of course, there will be darker right here. And I think it works quite well. Yeah. So it's getting darker right here. But now let's, just gonna save, and actually I'm just going to capture an image right now. So if I look at it, if it's saved, I'll know what it is about more easily. So I have like this right here. All right, before we're going to get to the, I would say, most difficult or most annoying part, it's going to be like this shape right here. I'm just gonna have like a little sip of water. I actually have like this nice new VR setup that I just came up with. It's just a straw, because when wearing a VR headset, it is not that nice to drink, but with a straw it's possible. Of course, not plastic, reusable, like it should be, and yeah. So that worked quite well. Normally, it's way harder to drink, but like this, I think I can do it. So I kind of don't want to start with this part because I guess it's gonna be really a pain to get it right. But maybe we'll have luck, or maybe someone has an idea actually how to solve this quite well. The problem I will run into, or the problem I created myself, is actually the following. Is this part right here. I'm just gonna have it more obvious. I think this will be the big problem, this part right here, because it has a greater width than the other ones. So I think when I compare it in size, let's do it like this, and just put it right here. Alright, so this is kind of a little bit of the size difference. And the problem I have with this now is that this size difference will lead to some problems, or like I would say, it'll lead to not being I can't do it like the easy way, or the more easier way, because normally what I would do is just to have this size right here. So, I would start with the upper one, the upper part, and I could just go in and rotate it in like this. Actually, I forgot something. I would go in, make the strokes, make it smaller at the end, not totally small. I don't want that, but then oh, it's not the end. Wait. So right here. So then it's a little bit long, but it's just to make it more obvious for you. Let's check. So now I would rotate it. Normally I do like a guideline to see what's the middle, but I would rotate it like this and then re-grab it because that resets the pivot. And then I would just go in and say, all right, make the pivot right here and then rotate it around this axis. Like this, for example, and rotate it around. Okay, that didn't work as easy as I thought. But it's also because of the thing I wanted to say. Yeah, because normally I would do it like this. This would work, kind of. I failed at the beginning a little bit, but that would be fixable. I'm just gonna have it here. That's more easily to see. So usually I would do it this way because it's like perfectly symmetrical. Like this. But the problem is we ran into is yeah, regrabbing resets the pivot. It's a game changer, yeah. Because when you just grab one thing, like for example, if you just move the pivot and it's like really hard when you start to eyeball, then everything when you start duplicating will be so offset. That's why this just re-grabbing it to be totally centered and not eyeballing it like this is a quite nice thing. But yeah, like I said, the problem right now is that the top element is like wider. And that's why I can't actually use this technique that easily. Because that will lead to this part, like you can see here, being too big. I'm just gonna have to find a way to fix it. I'm not quite sure how. But we'll see. Alright. It's gonna grab like the normal color. I'm just going to start off by making the first one right here. I think that will be totally enough. And this time I will also add again, I will, or maybe this time I'll add it later, like here, like this stroke. I think it will be better to add that later to hide a little bit of the imperfection. So now I'm just gonna move it. All right. Still, it's like before. It is a little bit big. I have to watch out because the line already starts back there, and maybe like this. Yeah, that looks. I think that looks all right. I have to make it a little bit bigger again. Damn. Let's just try it like this. All right. So how can I do it? Like now I'm just thinking about a way to kind of measure the where the center of the thing is. I don't know if there is like a good way to do it, or if there is an easy way to do it. I'm just gonna grab it right here, and then I can at least see it. But if I change the brush, it disappears. All right. But I can check afterwards, at least, if it is done correctly in this way. Yeah, next time I'm gonna have like a German transcript down there, maybe, so you can read it. But yeah, next time maybe, or just gonna get a mod that like consistently writes the German version down there, if that would help. Yeah, so to get the middle, I think what I'm gonna do is like make a stroke that is kind of in the middle. Not in the middle of this part, but I think we didn't make the rocket like the rocket is not perfectly symmetrical, I would think, if I look at it right now, because I would say that right here it kind of looks like the middle, but down there it totally isn't. But I can't move it more to the left, I guess. All right. All right. With that being done, I'm just gonna copy it right here, and this actually already could be the middle. Let's check. Just gonna select the whole thing and just gonna bring the pivot up here and maybe, oh, all right. Not perfect, but quite good actually. So I'm just gonna have it to move it a little bit up and a little bit to left. So a little bit up, a little bit to left, and that should be quite good. All right. I'm not gonna make it like try to make it perfect, because I guess it's also like yeah, just using the red strokes as a guide right now, just to find the middle of the whole thing, to have a point to rotate it around. So I guess it's quite alright like this. So I'm just going to add like one more stroke now and just push it up right here. So just just bring the handle up here. Sure. Just have it now. Now I have this line, and it indicates about the it's about the middle. So it's not perfect, but it's quite alright. I hope, at least. And now what I'm gonna do is take this again, and now when I rotate it, I know where I can stop. So this should be about the middle right here. So this should be all right. Now if I again re-grab, I will just try what happens is if I put the pivot, I try to put it in the middle like here as well. And now if I start rotating, it doesn't work that well. All right, cool. This will be a little bit trial and error then. So I'm just gonna move it a little bit down maybe, and it's gonna. Yeah. Maybe I won't do it like maybe this is just isn't the best way to do it. Maybe it would be easier actually to just do it a little bit by hand now that we have reference or guidelines. I'm just gonna start and push it right here and make it small. All right. Oh, actually, I'm just gonna redo. Damn. All right. I'm gonna redo this upper part as well, because I want to have like at least the same length of both sides. So I'm gonna have it like this long. Let's just make it a little bit less pointy at the end. So just like this. And then I'm just gonna go in here and pick the correct size for these sides. And I'm just gonna make it on top of it, because this way I can more easily have the same length. And now I will go in and reposition this. Just gonna write it. Maybe hide the overlaps with bigger cube or cylinder brush on the sides. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think I will just a little bit like continue what I did right here. So just using like the same idea of using this these shapes to cover like the intersection point. I think that would be quite nice. Let's see if this works. So, what does the time actually say? Let's have a look. All right. Gonna go through like about maybe I think it will go on for about half an hour or 1 hour. That's about the time. It's the first test, so maybe in the future I'll do a little bit more, but I think that would be a good time frame, like for the first test stream, and then I'm gonna check afterwards if everything went well and see how we can continue doing this in the future. But yeah, now it kind of looks like an reminds me of like the connector in some spaceships. So when they're like getting like open like this, maybe. So let's try rotating. Okay, I got this one. Rotate it in the middle. Pick this one. Oh no. I have to. Oh. Can I? No, I can't. Alright. This is the first time I'll have to like eyeball the axis. So I'm just gonna grab it. Nah, not like this. But I'm going to have to grab the gimbal like this and just try to put it kind of in the right spot. I think that is alright. And put it right here. Just a little bit of cheating right here. I think that would be all right. Okay. So, to make it a little bit easier on me, at least a little bit, when it comes to this, I'll now just save. Saving, always important. And then I can also like go in now, because it should just be duplicated to the other side. It should be quite similar, I hope at least. So I can grab this object and just like select it with a select tool, and then I can say copy to new layer, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. And then there should be, yeah, an identical copy of that. Then I can go into the layer and make this the transform layer. That is important, because then I can flip, and I always flip it wrong. So just have it right here and then flip Z. All right. X. Flip X is the rest. All right. Just gonna have to check one thing. Getting a battery warning, actually. On my quest, I think we can go for a couple more minutes, but maybe I'll have to take a break afterwards. Yeah, remember saving channel emoji would be great. It'll be the first emoji that we do, if it is possible. So, just don't have anything on transform right now. And now I can just go in and position it. And yeah, it worked okay, I guess. But not really. Like, all right. Copying this whole thing, I think, wasn't worth it in the end, because it's just not that symmetrical. But I think this works quite all right now. Let's do it like this. All right. And then I'm just now, I'm just going to go in, just grab it and position it like this. I mean, it's in the story, it's gonna be like he puts this rocket together all in his own in this little workshop. So I would assume it's not like I'm lazy, that it's not perfect. It's more like storytelling through being lazy when building it right here. So I think we have like it's not laziness, it's storytelling. That's what I think we can agree on in the end. So, I have to say, like with I really love my quest 2 so far, but when it comes to like battery, I usually was able to do way longer sessions with my original quest. So I think that's where it still would have the upper hand, because I think this cable should be loading right now, the quest. I don't know if it just doesn't work, or if the quest actually just drains like more energy than it's getting while it's being loaded. That could also be the case, but I actually don't know. But this would be the part where this could be a part where actually just take off the headset, just let it load for a while, and just show maybe some inspiration, like people that I think are really good at what they're doing, especially in Quill, showing you the server wheel quick, or just in the future just having a little bit more of a chat where you can ask questions. But I guess for today, we'll just keep it like this. So as soon as the battery runs out, I think our session for today will be over. But I hope I'll do this like frequently now. So if you liked it, or if you're watching now the recording afterwards, feel free to join in future sessions. And of course, if you want to stay updated and get alerts when it's time, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In the future, there will also be video content a little bit. But for now, it's gonna be focused on streaming this project. And yeah, just gonna finish this part right here. Just gonna go in. It's funny how the background music I chose, it's actually used in a commercial, and I get flashbacks when hearing this because I get it constantly on YouTube. This commercial, I don't know if you listen to it, you might know as well what I'm talking about. That would be interesting if you would get the same commercial. That music is stuck into my brain because of always getting it before every video. It's like an... So, do you actually know, or do a little bit of competition? Who knows what ad uses this background music? Maybe you aren't targeted as I am, or using an ad blocker. Maybe you'll get it. All right. That's it so far. I think we're off quite good. But of course, what is needed to fill it all up is something like this around the whole thing. I'm just gonna do it now freehand because I want. I mean, I try to do it quite symmetrically, but now I just want to add some small details that are like not perfectly straight, because that was not what a person in his own workshop would do, like working like with the perfect lines. It can be a little bit choppy, so it's all right. Guilty of... Oh. Guilty of using adblock. All right. But I'm not gonna plug like do like more advertising for them right now, so I'm not gonna tell you. Maybe you'll find out in the future, and you'll come back and tell me what music it was. So, just gonna make a tippy tip, a little bit rounded. All right. I think it looks quite all right. I think what will all like put it all together, or like make it even nicer, will just be the bag right here. So maybe I'm just gonna take another look what my battery says. I don't actually get a percentage. I don't know what kind of design thinking that was to not put like an actual number behind the battery. So I don't really know. we'll see. So when I'm just gonna jump out of Quill, you will know my battery just died. Alright. Let's just make the back part, and then I think we're gonna end it for today. Just having a little bit more explanation today. Next time maybe a little bit, just getting a little bit faster into the action. And then we'll finish this rocket. Just gonna have like these things first this time. Put it down. And now, what I don't like that much is filling up these spaces. So, just gonna make it like quite dark around here. And now just let me think of how this space would be filled like most efficiently. I think maybe just putting one square right here. Then maybe filling up the space like down there like this. Just gonna copy it right here. And then we can just add the rest with this square. Okay, this is a little bit more bended, so I'm just gonna put it in right here. I have to be careful that it doesn't stick out. Well, that looks alright. The thing is, like I said, with the battery running low, the background music could be a little bit louder. All right, I could fix that in the future. Or right now if you want to. Just gonna go in. Oh, alright, interface is not that strong in VR that I'm using right here. So I'll maybe have to type it. So about the Rift overlay, also Rift overlay lies about the battery status. It has more than once told me my battery was at 80% when in reality my Quest was dying minutes later. Oh, that's not that nice because, like I said, like one of the reasons for me not saving is normally it's just when the link cable, for example, gets disconnected, because then Quill will crash, and this is the same when this should be the same at least when the battery dies, because then also the link connection disappears. Oh my god, I'm not. Alright. This should be okay for what we're doing. Alright. Now I'm just gonna grab another brush. It's just gonna use like a cylinder brush right here. It's very easy. Make it even a little bit more or a little bit darker, and just try to push it out a little bit. No. Alright, it's not working that good, but maybe like this. Okay, it rotates it, but I can fix that quite quick. Alright, so just gonna put it right here. kind of in the middle. Just like this. And make it bigger. A little bit smaller again. So this is the back, and I'm just going to add a little bit lighter now, just some more cylinders, because I want to have like this 3-part exhaust point. I don't know how you actually call it, but on the back there'll be these 3 arm. Let me also, no, I could have done it another way. Let me just delete these 2. Now I'm just gonna go in and save before it gets deleted. And then I'm gonna use the thickness tool and just thicken it up right here. So it's also a little bit curved. And now I'm just gonna copy it 2 times. Make it so they're all like lined up. And maybe what I could have done beforehand, but I didn't, is just let's I'm just gonna use the cylinder brush as well. It's not maybe not the cylinder brush, but I just want to add some detail, some more. Maybe it's the capped ellipse. No, maybe this one. Yeah, that's perfect. So I'm using the rounded ribbon brush. Just gonna make like this circle, put it in here, move it, and there we go. So that's where we're at. It took a while, mainly because of this part right here. But I actually got the next alert. So my quest actually seems to die right now. So I'm just gonna recolorize the back part. It has to be a little bit brighter. Yeah, but that's where we're at right now. I think it looks quite alright. Maybe we'll have a little bit more of a rugged look, so it's not... It looks a little bit too clean for my taste for the character, I guess. It's a little bit too, not to say perfect, but there had to be like, just a little bit more of imperfections in there maybe. But maybe we can just add them, for example, by actually rotating stuff a little bit and pretending like it's not done perfectly well. Maybe that will help in the future. But yeah, so in the next part, I guess I will... so next part of the stream that we'll have, I think I'm just gonna continue with that. So I'm just gonna continue at the rocket and trying to finish it. And yeah, I hope you liked it so far. I'm just gonna take off the quest and gonna grab a drink and then have a final talk about how it's going on in the future and what the plans are. So, and I would say see you in a minute. All right, and I'm back, and nice side effect of working in VR. This time it's actually not that bad as usual, but you get like a nice pattern on your face. Normally, like a really nice red color as well. So yeah, maybe a meeting right after a Quill session is not like the perfect thing to do. It takes a while to get rid of it. Let's see how long it takes this time. But yeah, so in this session, I guess I didn't come as far as I would hope to do. I thought I would be able to finish it in these 2 hours, about 2 hours. But of course, with the beginning, just talking a little bit about like Quill in general and explaining stuff besides, I think it took just a little bit longer. And of course, like this one shape, I just didn't really knew how to do, but maybe I'll find a way to do it better in the future. But I guess what I came out with, I'm quite happy with. Yeah, so now I think I'll try to be like live streaming at least 1 time a week now. So 1 time a week, I think I'll be able to do it, maybe 2 times a week. Yeah, and just do about the stuff that I just did today. So just, you can follow our progress on doing this movie, this VR short. And just in general, if you have any questions or just are interesting about VR production, or yeah, on just how we started the whole thing, how we started or how we got into virtual reality animation, yeah, and just join our learning process. That's what it is all about. I actually did some research as well, so I'm for my college, I would say, for university. I actually did write a paper about the whole topic, and if you have questions regarding this, I can also answer them and tell you a little bit more about yeah, what I came up in my paper came up with. And yeah, so I think that will be it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I hope to see you next time. Don't forget to don't forget to subscribe to see when I schedule my next live stream, and yeah, don't miss potential uploads that might come in the future. And yeah, I think it will be fun. So have a great time. I'm Nino. This was virtual reality session, painting in Quill, and yeah, I would say see you next time. Bye.